Welcome to the Yellow Trumpet. I'm Chituga, and today our topic shall be Chapter 2. Chapter 2, you heard that right. Chapter 2 meaning what? Chapter 2 is the second chapter of the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended. Chapter 2 is everything a politician needs in a manifesto. Chapter 2 is all that government requires to perform its duties. In our episode on representative and responsible government, I alluded to the fact that Nigerian law, its constitution, makes provisions, so much provisions that a manifesto is not really necessary by any politician. All you need is to adopt and agree that chapter 2 is what you are going to implement. I shall read you the first section of chapter 2, which is section 13 of the Constitution. It reads, "It shall be the duty and responsibility of all organs of government and of all authorities and persons exercising legislative, executive, or judicial powers to conform and observe and apply the provisions of this chapter of this Constitution." You see that it's a duty. I did mention that citizens, in our episode on what the duty of a citizen is, I did mention that citizens have duty as well as politicians, or rather government elected representative or public officers. They also have duties, and that duty is what I just read to you. I will not be able to read you all of chapter 2. I will not be able to do that, but I will read you certain things. Chapter 2 is divided into several sections. What I read to you is the section on fundamental obligations of government. There is a section on the government and the people. This is the section where a particular subsection, that is 14.2 sub B, states that the security and welfare of the people shall be the primary purpose of government. That is why I tell you that every other thing that does not involve the security and welfare of its people is an add-on. If the security and welfare of the people are not met, it's a failed government. It fails to uphold its responsibility. There is a section on political objectives. This is why I state that there really is no reason for a manifesto if you adopt chapter 2. Chapter 2 seems difficult because it means that if you are an elected official, upholding chapter 2 means you have to deny yourself a lot of the pleasures that come with the office. The pleasures that has kept us undeveloped, the pleasure that has limited our growth. You need to curtail those pleasures. It takes courage, because a lot of people will be on your neck. A lot of people will be on your neck. Then there is the economic objectives. It's quite lengthy, but I will read it out, so it's worth hearing. So this section 16. So section 16 sub 1. The state shall, within the context of the ideals and objectives for which these provisions are made in this Constitution, harness the resources of the nation and promote national prosperity and an efficient, a dynamic and self-reliant economy. Paragraph B. Control the national economy in such a manner as to secure the maximum welfare, freedom, and happiness of every citizen on the basis of social justice and equality of status and opportunity, without prejudice to its right to operate or participate in areas of the economy other than major sectors of the economy, manage and operate major sectors of the economy. There are several things to read here. I don't want to go on and on and on. Then there's the special objectives, which states that the state's social order is founded on ideals of freedom, equality, and justice. So these are the ideals that should propel us as Nigerians. But is that necessarily the case? I doubt, because this is the part of the law that tends to be ignored. There is the educational objective, which reads, government shall direct its policy towards ensuring that there are equal and adequate educational opportunities at all levels. Government shall promote science and technology. Government shall strive to eradicate illiteracy, and to this end, government shall, as and when practicable, provide free, compulsory, and universal primary education, free secondary education, free university education, free adult literacy program. That is educational objectives. Their foreign objectives is listed here: promotion and protection of the national interest. The national interest, as I said earlier, is your personal interest. It's not the interest of the governor. It's not the interest of the president. Well, they are the leaders, so it is their interest is regarded as the national interest, but that is not necessarily the case. The national interest, as you can tell from this book, the Constitution, this law, is the welfare and security of citizens. The chapter 2 deals extensively with welfare of citizens, from economic objectives to political objectives. It even has directives on Nigerian cultures, which states that the state shall protect, preserve, and promote Nigerian cultures, enhance human dignity, and Nigerian cultures which enhance human dignity and are consistent with the fundamental objectives as provided in this chapter. Encourage development of technology and scientific studies which enhance cultural values. There are environmental objectives as well, which states that the state shall protect and improve the environment and safeguard the water, air, and land, forest, and wildlife of Nigeria. It even comes with obligations of mass media. I shall read this because it is of interest. It is even highlighted in my copy. The press, radio, television, and other agencies of the mass media shall at all times be free to uphold the fundamental objectives contained in this chapter and uphold the responsibility and accountability of the government to the people. Well, this requires this. It's not an obligation. Well, it is an obligation, but the word "may" is used. Is it? Okay. Shall at all times be free. So governments cannot limit their function, which is to perform as the fourth realm of the estates, as they say. Then there is national ethics, which states the national ethics shall be discipline, integrity, dignity of labor, social justice, religious tolerance, self-reliance, and patriotism. Then it ends with the duty of a citizen. This is quite important to you because everything that I just read begins with you. It is from amongst you that elected officials come into public office. It is from amongst you that public officers are appointed. So, citizens who know their duty, who are conversant with their duty as prescribed by law, are in a better position to make better choices because Candidates who align with these values stated in chapter 2 are the best candidates, or more likely candidates, to be elected by such citizens. So I shall read the duty of a citizen, but before that, I should also state that implementation of chapter 2 does not require intelligence. The intelligence or the intelligence work has been done, which is compiling and drafting chapter 2 and incorporating it into the law. That is the intelligence work. It has been done. It requires character. It requires character. And this character is born out of self-knowledge. I have an uncle who says that Nigeria will not get to its desired destination, if there is such a destination. I think it is our economic prosperity. It is upholding the values ascribed in chapter 2 of this constitution. If Nigeria is to get to its destination, he says, then our leader must want nothing from Nigeria. I did not say for Nigeria, I said from Nigeria. They must want nothing from Nigeria. So, on duties of the citizen, it shall be the duty of every citizen to abide by this constitution, respect its ideals and its institutions, the national flag, the national anthem, the national pledge, and legitimate authorities. First duty of a citizen, that's paragraph A. Paragraph B. Help to enhance the power, prestige, and good name of Nigeria. Defend Nigeria and render such national service as may be required. Paragraph C. Respect the dignity of other citizens and the rights and legitimate interest of others, and live in unity and harmony, and in the spirit of common brotherhood. Paragraph D. Make positive and useful contribution to the advancement, progress, and well-being of the community where he resides. Paragraph E. Render assistance to appropriate and lawful agencies in the maintenance of law and order. And finally, paragraph F, as the sixth duty, declare his income honestly to appropriate and lawful agencies and pay his tax promptly. You see, the question now you may ask is, why is this law not enforced in our courts? If we have such beautiful law that already tells the politician what should be done, where no party interest can influence what is national, and what is national is clear as day, so why are we having non-implementation? Well, ask no further. Section 6 sub 1 no section 6 sub 6 paragraph C states, the judicial powers vested in accordance with the foregoing provisions of this section shall not, except, note that word, except as otherwise provided by this constitution, extend to any issue or question as to whether any act or omission by any authority or person, or as to whether any law or any judicial decision is in conformity with the fundamental objectives and directives of state policy set out in chapter 2 of this constitution. I failed to mention that Chapter 2 of the Constitution is labeled Fundamental Objectives and Directive Principles of State Policy. So when it comes to international policy, economic policy, technological policy, cultural policy, the Constitution provides all this. But because of this particular section, that is section 6 sub 6 sub paragraph C, the view by most constitutional scholars is that these laws cannot be enforced in court. It is called non-justiciable. So they serve mostly as guidelines. But that is not exactly correct, is it? I doubt. It says chapter 6 of 6 paragraph C states that except as otherwise provided by this constitution. That means if they run contrary, if the performance of chapter 2, if they do something that is contrary to chapter 2, well, it's confusing for me as well. They cannot be sued on the basis of chapter 2 unless their action is in contravention with the provision of this constitution. So I would argue that the oath of office is a part of the constitution because it is listed by a schedule of the constitution. And if the schedule of the constitution is a part of the constitution, then the oath of office that is used to inaugurate or swear in an individual into an elected office is a part of the constitution. So we may have to look at the oath of office to see what it says and if their compliance or non-compliance of same is a violation of this chapter 2, hence necessitating the invocation of chapter 2 of this constitution. So where do we find oath in this constitution? It's a schedule. What schedule? Excuse me. Okay, it is in the 6th schedule. All the oaths here. There's the oath of national and state houses of assembly. Oh, these are for tribes. Oh, my apologies. 7th schedule. That's where the oaths are. The oath of allegiance, the oath of office of president, the oath of office of a state governor, the oath of office of vice president and deputy governor, minister, commissioner, or special advisor, the oath of a member of the National Assembly or of a House of Assembly, judicial oath. So I will pick out, let's pick from the National Assembly. Let's see what it says. Well, first, oath of allegiance, because that is general for everybody. I, my name, Chituga Chinda, do solemnly swear. Now I'm reading out the oath. Or affirm, I swear, that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and that I will preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So help me God. I argue that I state, because it is clear, non-implementation of Chapter 2, well, it's an argument. Non-implementation of Chapter 2 is a violation of the oath of allegiance. Perhaps I should read for president, but I'm more interested in the National Assembly. So I'll read the oath of a member of the National or of a House of Assembly. National Assembly or of a House of Assembly. I, the name of the individual, do solemnly swear that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the Federal Republic of Nigeria, that as a member of the Senate or House of Representatives or State House of Assembly, I will perform my functions honestly to the best of my ability, faithfully, and in accordance with the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and the law, and the rules of the Senate, House of Representatives, and that state's House of Assembly, and always in the interest of the sovereignty, integrity, solidarity, well-being, and prosperity of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. That I will strive to preserve the fundamental objectives and directive principles of state policy contained in the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and I will preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and that I will abide by the code of conduct contained in the 5th schedule of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So help me God. I use them because there are many of them, and even if one person says I will not, so many of you took this oath. And guess what? In this oath, there is a specific clause that states that I will strive to preserve the fundamental objectives and directive principles of state policy as contained in the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. My argument is this, that having taken this oath, it is a live oath. It is not based on testimony. It is based on your future conduct. So it is a live oath and hence part of the Constitution. Your non-adherence or violation of this oath is a violation of the Constitution, thereby necessitating the invocation of Chapter 2 of this Constitution, which holds the fundamental objectives and directive principles of state policy. So that is Chapter 2 in a nutshell. This is the Yellow Trumpet. I hope you've learned something from this. I am Chituga. Take care.